Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily, the first English news program in Poland. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee. Jerzy Owsiak, until recently the CEO of the Great Orchestra of Christmas Charity, or WOSP, announced that he will be coming back to his position as the president of the foundation. Owsiak decided to step down from this role after the tragic murder of the mayor of Gdańsk, Paweł Adamowicz, during the foundation's event. However, some people argue that Owsiak's decision to return is just a publicity stunt, and that he should have at least waited a few more days after the late mayor's funeral with his announcement.
Jerzy Owsiak announced his decision in social media after the funeral ceremonies of the late mayor of Gdańsk, Paweł Adamowicz.
Zabieram się do roboty.
Let's get to work. Please be with us until the end of the world and one day more. Thank you very much. Owsiak's decision to return brought as much mixed emotions as his decision to step down from the role of the CEO. Jurek Owsiak returns as the CEO of WOSP. Wow, it worked out, I'm so happy. The time of mourning has passed, so Jurek Owsiak returns as the CEO of WOSP. It's all good now, nothing happened. We're back in the game, let's go. Despite the controversies surrounding Jerzy Owsiak, most Poles have no doubts that his work with the foundation is admirable, to say the least. The widow of the late mayor of Gdańsk appealed to Owsiak for his return as the chairman of the foundation. Jurek, please return to the orchestra, keep fighting and we will prevail. Let's go.
I'm
standing by his decision and I'm strongly against all the hate towards him. His decision was motivated by the widow's request. Before you say something in the internet, you need to keep in mind the family which was struck by this awful tragedy. Sociologist Krzysztof Karnkowski points to the fact that Owsiak chose a bad time for his annunciation. It seems like Jerzy Owsiak wanted to gather attention during the funeral ceremonies, and it's not appropriate. Even his devoted fans say that. As to people who condemn his decision, it's clear that he made some new enemies with his bad timing. Jerzy Owsiak has led the Great Orchestra of Christmas Charity for 27 years. He's its founder and the organizer of the annual WOSP finale.
During yesterday's speech, the US President Donald Trump proposed to the Democratic Party an agreement to end the federal government shutdown, offering the opposition party extension of stay for illegal immigrants already in the USA in exchange for funding of the border wall, which was promptly turned down by the Democrats.
The president yet again advocates for the physical wall for border security.
To physically secure our border, the plan includes $5.7 billion for a strategic deployment of physical barriers, or a wall. This is not a 2,000-mile concrete structure from sea to sea. These are steel barriers in high-priority locations.
In exchange for funding of the border wall, the president proposed a compromise in terms of immigration policies.
There are two more elements to my plan. Number one is 3 years of legislative relief for 700,000 DACA recipients brought here unlawfully by their parents at a young age many years ago. This extension will give them access to work permits, social security numbers, and protection from deportation, most importantly.
Along with the DACA Act, Trump also proposed a 3-year extension of the TPS.
Secondly, our proposal provides a 3-year extension of temporary protected status, or TPS. This means that 300,000 immigrants whose protected status is facing expiration will now have 3 more years of certainty so that Congress can work on a larger immigration deal, which everybody wants, Republicans and Democrats.
Trump stuck to his demand that $5.7 billion for this year to fund the US-Mexico border wall be a part of any bill to fully reopen the government, an ultimatum Democrats oppose. The president hoped that offering new protections for undocumented immigrants could put an end to the impasse still ongoing in the Congress. Not long after the announcement, one of the top Democrats, possible candidate for 2020 elections, Nancy Pelosi, made a statement calling the offer unacceptable and did not represent a good faith effort to restore certainty to people's lives, claiming that the president's offer was unlikely to gain the votes needed to pass the House or Senate. That partial shutdown has meant that 800,000 federal workers were either furloughed or working without pay since December 22nd.
Panama prepares for the World Youth Day, a Catholic event initiated by Pope John Paul II in 1985. The event takes place in a different country every 2 or 3 years and gathers youth from all around the world to pray and sing religious songs. Following the success of the 2016 World Youth Day in Poland, the Panamanian authorities asked the Polish Scouts to come to Panama this year and provide help in securing the event. The Polish Scouts, among other things, proved to be irreplaceable in organizing paramedical help and making sure that all the participants were safe and sound. The World Youth Day in Panama will take place between January 22nd and 27th. Up to 170 migrants are presumed dead after 2 dinghies sunk in the Mediterranean Sea. One of the dinghies set out from Libya and, according to 3 survivors, carried over 100 people when it sunk in rough waters off the Libyan coast. The second dinghy has set off from Morocco and was heading for Spain when it suffered from an unspecified collision. Following the incident, 53 migrants are estimated to have lost their lives in the waters of the Upper Aegean Sea.
Apart from the 2 deadly disasters in the Mediterranean, the NGO vessel Sea-Watch picked up 43 migrants off a rubber boat drifting in the sea north of the Libyan city Zuwara. Today, Pope Francis prayed for the dead and missing migrants on the Mediterranean Sea. I'm thinking of the 170 victims in the Mediterranean. They were looking for a future for their lives, and perhaps they were victims of human traffickers. Let us pray for them and for those who are responsible for what happened. The migrant routes on the Mediterranean Sea changed significantly in 2018. The number of migrant arrivals to Italy dropped to only around 20,000 compared to 120,000 in 2017. Spain saw an increase in arrivals from 22,000 in 2017 to almost 60,000 in 2018. The Italian Minister of Interior, Matteo Salvini, has refused NGO vessels to disembark migrants in Italy, a move which has been heavily criticized by representatives of the Church and human rights campaigners across Europe. In a Facebook livestream video posted following this weekend's 2 deadly incidents on the Mediterranean, Salvini doubled down on his strict immigration policy. Now, perhaps professors, intellectuals, associations, a cardinal and 6,000 broadcasters will say that we must open the ports, hug migrants and welcome them all. I say no, no and no, because the latest shipwreck is proof that if you reopen ports, if you allow everyone to cross the Mediterranean Sea regardless of the laws of our countries, more people will die. I repeat, open hearts for those who really flee from war, but closed ports for NGOs, human traffickers and everyone else.
Ve lo ripeto, cuori aperti.
Salvini seems to be right in his claims, as the number of migrants drowning has decreased and fewer migrants attempt to make the perilous journey. Similar results were seen when Australia closed its waters for illegal migrants arriving by boats.
That's it for today. See you next time on Poland Daily. But stay tuned for the Poland Daily Business section with our very own Alexander Wojcicki and his special guests.